A new law gathering support in the U.S. Congress would criminalize free speech and peaceful protest against Israel. 45 senators and 237 members of the House, both Republicans and Democrats, have co-sponsored similar bills that would make it a felony to support the BDS movement. BDS, or the Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions Movement, is a response to calls from Palestinian civil society for nonviolent measures to pressure Israel to comply with international law and respect Palestinian human rights. It's modeled after South Africa's anti-apartheid movement of the 70s and 80s. The legislation, called the Anti-Israel Boycott Act, would make it illegal for individuals to participate in boycotts called for by international organizations. That includes boycotting products made in Israeli settlements that were built on Palestinian land in violation of international law, something the European Union already does. Anyone who violates the law would face a minimum civil penalty of $250,000 and a maximum criminal penalty of $1 million and 20 years in prison. That's more time than most rapists spend behind bars. It gets worse. Several of the bill's co-sponsors didn't even realize it violated free speech or came with such harsh penalties. Our colleagues at The Intercept reached out to Democratic Senator Gary Peters of Michigan, and he said, "What's the act? You'll have to get back to me on that." They received a similar response from Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey. He said, "I'd want to read it. I'd really have to look at it." And these are the bill's co-sponsors. But the most interesting response The Intercept received came from the bill's primary sponsor.
If we had criminal sanctions in it, we go to judiciary. I don't think we have. I just don't think that's in our bill.
So, a bill whose sponsors seem out of the loop at best is working its way through Congress. This comes after the powerful pro-Israel group AIPAC lobbied both houses of Congress for these bills and made passing them one of its top priorities for 2017. The ACLU has condemned both the Senate and House attempts to criminalize the BDS movement. In recent letters to Congress, the organization called the move a mockery of the constitutional principle that Americans are free to believe as they choose, and also wrote that such boycotts rightly enjoy First Amendment protection. The proposed legislation in Congress is just the latest in a growing crackdown on BDS. At least 21 states have considered or adopted bills to ban state officials from doing business with anyone who supports the BDS movement. And BDS supporters across college campuses have come under attack with accusations of being anti-Semitic, despite the fact that the movement enjoys considerable support from Jewish advocates of Palestinian rights. This new legislation may be getting support from politicians on both sides of the aisle, a rare thing given the current political climate in the U.S. But cracking down on free speech and political activism, that doesn't sound very American.